Hello guys, welcome to About 30, a show that focuses on men navigating life before 30. And with me today is my co-host, Sep. How you doing?
I'm okay, man. I'm okay. Nice to be here.
Yeah, nice to be here too. Thank you. And also with me is my guest, Mr. Ilo Calistus. How you doing today, Mr. Ilo?
I'm doing fine.
Welcome, Mr. Calistus.
Yeah.
Glad to have you.
Glad to be here too.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Okay. My name is Ilo Calistus. I'm a software engineer and technical project manager. Yeah. As a software engineer, I build web and mobile applications for businesses mostly. I've been doing this professionally for about 8 years now, though unprofessionally.
What do you mean by unprofessionally?
Unprofessionally, like playing around with software, but I'm not just playing with it without hosting it or making it go on production.
Okay.
Yeah, so been doing that for about 11 years.
So, okay, that means combining the 8 years, that's 19.
No.
Okay, let's say 3 years.
3 years before unprofessional,
then 8 years.
then 8 years professional. That's
Okay.
11. Yeah.
That's a long time. You know, I learned that for you to actually get into your career and do a lot of things, you have to spend at least or at most 5 years.
Yeah.
Or 10,000 hours.
But I haven't spent 11 years. That's massive. Well, this is a very, should I say, lucrative area, and
Especially in Nigeria, where people are getting into tech.
Even in the world, because if you check the top 5 companies by market cap in the entire world, I think 3 companies out of the 5 are into software development. The Apple, the Microsoft, all those guys. So that's what they do. So you're a rich man.
No, rich is relative, man. So, I wouldn't say I'm poor also.
well, we want to know, and the audience, they will also want to know how you were able to find your way into this lucrative industry, and what exactly inspired it?
Okay, well, so I think it's basically from the course I read. I studied computer science in the university.
Okay.
Yeah.
What university is that?
University of Nigeria, actually. University of Nigeria and Soka. I studied computer science, and though even before then, when I was in secondary school, I used to love math a lot. Though I didn't want to be a mathematics teacher anyways. Yeah.
Did you ever teach in secondary school, university?
Not like teaching, but back then in school we used to have study groups, right? Okay. So that kind of thing. Sometimes I do lead Okay. I just do lead the studies groups and the rest. Yeah. But someone that has been in love with computers right from time. So when I got into university, I studied computer science, and that's actually when my journey started, and started learning a programming language. Okay. And later on, got into some programs I think when I was in 3rd year, I got selected as a Google student ambassador for my school. Yeah. Then I was acting as liaison between Google and my school. Yeah. So what they will basically do most is Google will always call us whenever there's a new technology out there.
So you're more like an ambassador.
Yeah, exactly. So they will train us on that technology, and we go back to the school campus and, convey the same training to the students within the campus.
And as of that time, how huge was it for you to be an ambassador, while we are still in school with Google? Because Google is one of the biggest brands that almost everybody look up to working.
Everybody. For you to even search for anything is Google.
So how huge was it for you as of that time?
Man, it was a huge thing actually. It was quite, and it's one of the things that actually made a great impact on me, because seriously, I would say that one of the major things that shaped me today, it's being a Google student ambassador back then. Yeah, and so imagine sometimes they do just look for an African country and just fly us there and invite their top engineers from San Francisco to come and train us. And so this is you having first-hand training from these guys there. So
because in school it's majorly theoretical.
Yes. So one thing with this field is that if you want to excel, you just have to do a lot of work yourself. 80% of the job have to be done yourself.
And that brings me to my next question about principles and values, because most times you discover that people don't just want to do the work.
Yeah.
They just want a complete
Everybody wants it
result.
easy.
You understand? And especially with this, with the Gen Zs or the upcoming generation.
Even those that aren't Gen Zs, I think they are getting infected with that mentality.
Exactly. So what were the principles and the values that you actually learned early on in your career?
Maybe probably your childhood, even before you began this very lucrative career.
Yeah. In my childhood, the vision wasn't even so clear. To be frank,
Like almost all of us.
Yeah, it's when it was actually like with time. Then I started reading some books.
Okay.
Yeah, like there was a point at uni when I started like reading some certain motivational books.
Okay.
And one that really like changed the entire thing for me was from Brian Tracy.
Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, there's his book called Goals.
Hmm.
Yeah, I've read this book like 3 times or so.
So if you want to become a software engineer, please find the book Goals by Brian Tracy.
Yeah. So one major thing I picked from that book was, whatever thing you want to like achieve in life, just make sure you have a plan. Write it down, and every day you wake up, just have a plan for yourself. And even if you don't achieve like 100% of that plan, like 70, even the 30% of what you will achieve will give you 70% of the results you want. Yeah. So.
And that's just based on the fact that you have a plan.
Yeah.
Well, one thing, as you're saying, I'm just trying to think about how my own career has been. And I know there is always that starting point. Yeah. So you're one of the fortunate people in Nigeria that are doing what they studied in school. But even after studying in your undergraduate, then you went to NYC. At what point, how did you worked unprofessionally for 3 years, but how did that switch happen? Or how did that transition happen from your studies then into the career? At what point?
The transition actually like happened in 2015.
Okay.
There's this internship I got from Google.
Okay.
Same Google. It's called the Google Summer of Code program. So it's like an internship. Yeah, it was in Nigeria. Yeah, so I was the only one selected in Nigeria then for that.
Wow,
and so they linked me up to a company called Anita Boggs in the US. Okay. And I worked with them for 3 months officially. Yeah. And man, like,
what was the experience like working with Anita Boggs?
It was really a great experience, really, man. Like I had mentors. So the way it works is like when you get in, they assign you some mentors. I had a mentor. One of my mentors was in the US, and the other one was in Sri Lanka. Okay. Yeah, and before you get actually, you needed to know how to code. Okay. Yeah, and then the good thing is that they now like tell you how to even do it better. And at the same time, they are paying you like good standards of payments then.
Wow. Yeah. And that was huge for you as of that time.
Yeah, like
when you convert the dollar to naira.
Yeah. It was actually a big deal. It was actually a big deal then. Yeah. Wow. So that was actually like what shaped me now. So after that experience, I was like, man, so I can actually be doing this and be making this kind of money.
And you just mentioned coding, and I'm trying to link it to one of the things you said about you doing most part of the job. If you're getting into this field, doing the hard work, doing the self-learning, up to 70% of the time. So this coding, is this something you learned on your own or part of what UNN taught you?
I actually like learned most of it on my own.
Okay.
Yeah. Then it's YouTube was there.
Okay. I think everybody learns on YouTube. That's where it starts from.
Many people see it
that's where it starts from. It starts on YouTube. Then you can look for other platforms.
There are many resources that are free, but sometimes people just don't think.
Have the willpower.
And stay disciplined to go through all those.
Though in addition to that, I also like attended a programming school early then.
Okay.
Yeah, that also like helps to even like open my eyes
Oh,
to what this is all about. And since then, I just embraced it. And
well,
been,
so far, if you ask me, I think you've made it appear so simple and easy. Because I'm also thinking to even abandon finance and, and get into software development.
Enjoying tech.
But I want to know, and other people, I believe, even first who want to know those challenges, peculiar challenges you face. They could be professional, they could be personal, you know. But what are those challenges you sit back and you think, if not that I surmounted the will to, you know, find way to navigate these challenges, I might not even be where I am today. So can you just share maybe
some of the challenges that you went through?
Experience about
some of the challenges is one, like earlier on, you know, this profession like programming is not something that a lot of people are familiar with. And you know, when you're just like fresh out of school, you may not have enough finance to, you know, stay on your own, right? Maybe you might be with your parents for a while. So there are times that when I'm at home and I'm always on my laptop, some of my brothers feel like I'm just playing game. Sometimes I'll be like I'm in a meeting and they feel like I'm just lazying around. I don't want to do any house chores. And
it's hard for them to understand.
You might not you to the press phone.
So and it's hard for parents to actually understand.
Exactly.
When you are just pressing your laptop or you're pressing your phone.
And earlier on, I started like working remotely very early. And I remember when I even like got my...
What year was that? When you said very early?
2015. I already started working remotely.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like 5 years before remote working
started becoming popular. Yeah. So so there was a time. There are some times like when I'll be. So as of then, I was sometimes like we might be having a meeting, like in our compound, and they'll be like, "Where is Calistus?" And I'm like, they'll be calling me, and I'll not be picking because I'm in a meeting.
Exactly.
So sometimes when I come out like later on, our landlord will be like, "This boy is so disrespectful." Like they will call for a meeting, you will not come out and just come out like an hour later. So some of these things. So it was difficult to explain to them, like, how can you tell me that you are in a meeting when we know that you are in there? Who are you? Like,
I think it's from 2020 people started realizing that there's something called remote work. So it will be hard for people as of 2015 to really understand what you were doing.
Exactly.
And another challenge you might have faced is, assuming what you were doing then, you were doing it in 2020, 2021. Next thing is that they will call you a fraudster. That you are an internet fraudster because you're always on your laptop.
Yeah, at some point, like even as of 2017, some people were like, "This guy, he's always indoors," and some people will like, "I think he's into one of those things." So come on, like, who cares?
Okay, so let's just see. One of the challenges you've told us now is the issue of getting people to understand what you do, you know, and it's not conventional because the conventional kind of job is you wake up in the morning, you get dressed, you go out, you come back, people see as you leave your house and step into the house.
Now, talking about working as a software developer, you know, generally, when you look at Nigeria, many people are hustling. I would say that people are realizing that tech is such a huge career path, you know, and it requires skills. You know, you've mentioned coding, for instance. What were the skills that you learned, or what skills do you think? What advice do you give people that are coming up, young developers? The skills that you think helped you to survive throughout the years to become a top developer and to even start your own company too as well. What are the skills that you think you advise them to take up on?
Yeah, so the tech is huge. First of all, like what I would tell the young guys coming up is you don't really have to depend on one single person to learn that thing again, because right now information is just out there. Go to YouTube, and if you know that thing you want to learn, if it is software development, if it's digital marketing, user experience design, public speaking, like you can even be what do they call this again? Yeah, an advocate, for a company, right? And, you know, spread their word. So, just go there, learn. If it's software engineering, just go there and say how to become a software engineer. There's some way to start. You understand? For instance, if you software engineering, you might want to be a web developer. You might want to be a mobile developer. right?
Okay.
You want to dive into AI. You understand? So, but you have to like start with the basics first.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
So in all of these, you've mentioned different skills, for instance. What advice do you give them that will make them to stand out? Because you as an ambassador, there was something that you did that made you to stand out as of then. So what advice would you give to them?
Just commit to constant learning.
Okay.
Yeah, because never stop learning. Because that stuff you learned just in December last year will become obsolete by today. Like after 6 months, the world of today is fast changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you stick to what you've learned just last year, no, the tech industry is not something that you just learn and you say you've already known it. Man, like in 2 years they will call you an old guy and they will not need you anymore. You understand? So always like make sure you keep learning and to become relevant.
Yeah, thank you. And like I said, I may consider moving to
because
finance
of the money.
But I'm also thinking, not everybody would have to build or start their own companies. Yeah, sure. So 2 questions, maybe in one. One is, do you advise or recommend that at some point you have to start your own stuff? Is it something that everybody that is as good as you are must do? That's one. Then secondly is, why did you decide to start up your own?
Okay. It's not really like a must that you must start your own. Like, first of all, before you start up your own company, you have to check yourself out and know the kind of person you are. Okay. Naturally, there are some people that they are good at what they do. You can be a software engineer, but you are not disciplined. You need to be told when to do that stuff. Yeah. And when to do that stuff. Yeah. If you're that kind of person that needs to be told when to do that stuff,
it will be hard for you to start.
It will be hard for you to start your own company because starting your own company also like needs discipline.
Yeah.
You have to be able to overcome procrastination. You have to be able to, you don't have to be arrogant to your clients and so on and so forth. Because while the company may return you with some of these traits you have is because you have a manager that is cushioning down some of these negative traits that you have. Yeah. You understand? So you have to just like check out yourself and tell yourself whether you are disciplined enough to run a company and the rest. Then if that's the case, then you can start up, right? Okay. Otherwise, you can still like be comfortable while working for other companies. Man. After all, like there are a lot of companies, these tech companies these days, even like give out shares to their employees. Yeah, which makes you like
I think it's happening in Nigeria now.
These days.
You see some big tech companies giving shares.
Yeah.
Equity.
So,
although that one is a bit dicey because compared to the companies abroad, most of the tech companies in Nigeria, they are yet to get listed on the stock exchange. So you may have shares, but it's not something you.
I think that's another discussion for another day. Exactly.
So I'm just bringing finance into what you're doing. So
exactly. So
but it's very important.
Yeah. So thank you so much for all what you've said so far. I think it's been so insightful. And we typically have a game we play whenever we have a guest on our show, and Sep, our game master, will handle that. It's just majorly about it's just a finance topic that you'll be familiar with majorly. So over to you, Sep.
Yeah, very easy for you. It's the kind of game where, we have easy, difficulty. So
don't have high hopes on me.
Okay, so one question I like to ask people is like learning from the challenges as well. What's that one money mistake you've made? Because like I kept saying, this is a very lucrative area, and I'm thinking how you've been able to manage your assets, your resources, and still, like the question asked, what's that one mistake you've made in regards to your money or your assets? The biggest mistake you've made, or investment or anything?
Biggest. So there was a time I was working with a tech company in the Netherlands. Okay. They were paying me in Bitcoin. Wow. And I was just spending it all then.
Where was that, please, for context?
2017.
Wow.
Yeah.
Before the boom.
Yeah. Then Bitcoin was about 3,000 something or so.
That's huge.
I was getting enough Bitcoin. I never like thought it would get
Be
to
anything.
20K, 60K. Yeah, I was just spending it.
62 at some point.
Mhm. So yeah, that was one biggest money mistake I've made. I didn't like really do my research well to know what this is all about and
Yeah.
The time value.
the value it could yield in 5 years.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Well, the thing is, I wouldn't blame you per se, because even a few people that knew what Bitcoin was about didn't have that conviction that it was going to be this huge. You know, so they knew that this is cryptocurrency and it may happen, but they were not sure. And probably they had demands as at then. So, but your own, let's just say, is an issue of not having the
Enough
know-how.
information.
Yeah,
Enough
the information.
So I think that's fine. And I think the next question is the biggest money investment you've made that you're really proud of.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Because I've been hearing Netherlands, you know. it's
Well, I think the biggest investment for me, I would say, is starting up Grandilo, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that's huge.
yeah.
Starting up Grandilo. That's actually like the biggest I've done so far. Yeah, because it's something that's so far it's been yielding profits, right?
Exactly.
It's
And
been
you're also
yielding,
employing people
like,
too as well.
Exactly. And through it has also like served as an employer for other young guys. Yeah. So that's the
Okay, I think that's really great. And we've had a great conversation so far with Mr. Ilo Calistus. Thank you so much for coming on the show. And I'm sure our audience will have learned a lot from your submissions and the advice you've given to us as well. Thank you so much again for staying with us until the end of this show. Thank you, Mr. Sepp.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you, Mr. Calistus.
Thank you, Festus.
And until the next time, see you again. And bye for now.